Hey, you guys, welcome back to my obsession. Just like I promised, I have a few Twosuns here. And I would like to I'll do a paper cut test for you guys, just so you can see that they all came pretty sharp. Um, but I'm going to start with this guy right here. Turned out to be a lot uh, I turned out to be a lot more of a fan than I thought of this, because I love the design and I love the blade shape. I love the uniqueness of the entire knife, and I love the fact that it's small, but you can use this heavily. I mean, this is a heavy use knife. This little guy fills up your hand. You have a choil here that actually doesn't, it's not pronounced, and I really like that. It has an excellent sharpening choil as well. The plunge grind, I mean, is amazing. The only thing that turned me off about this were the thumb studs. And it's because, well, as you can see, my thumb has been torn up because I refuse to not play with my knives. So I've dug a hole in my finger. That's how much I obsess with my knives, you guys. But anyway, this is the TS 318, and it's got like a micro milling on the stone washed handles. It has a slightly raised pivot area, and it's oversized, which just makes it even more attractive to me. An oversized pivot area on a relatively small knife is just a design genius. It's a genius design is what I mean. I love it. It is a frame lock, of course. I like how they did this with the lock bar for the relief, to, I guess, make it a little easier. It is a little hard to disengage, only because on my example anyway, it's a little sharp right here, but they did chamfer it. It's still just a little sharp right there, but it's not anything that I wouldn't want the knife to, it's not anything that would make me sell the knife. They also put these, just to keep the hardware at a minimum, which I absolutely love when people do that. TwoSun has been just killing it. And this just has the pivot and the one body screw, and they're both T8s, which is phenomenal because I hate T6s. Everybody does. We're always complaining about it, and I feel like there's a couple companies that are really coming around. TwoSun being one of them. Every single one, as far as I know, every single one of my knives that I've gotten from TwoSun lately have had T8s in the body and in the pivot. So, but I love this. These four standoffs here. They go like large to small. I mean, they even thought of that. I think that is so awesome that they just. I don't know if the standoffs are. I think they're titanium. Um, I have not had to take this knife apart, which is great because I tend to have problems with TwoSuns staying together after I've fidgeted with them like crazy, and the pivot will fall out. So I literally take the which I don't mind. I love taking apart. I love doing anything with my knives, honestly. So the more time I can spend with the little guys, the better. But I always have to wind up taking them apart prematurely, in my opinion, because the pivot becomes really loose, and sometimes the body screws, but that's pretty rare. But I have not had to do that with this one. They usually don't use any Loctite, so I don't know if that's changing or what. But anyway, that is my impression. Oh, the stop bar, the stop pin, is really, really large for this small knife. It's on bearings too. I failed to mention. But the stone wash on the blade is phenomenal. I mean, I love TwoSun's stone wash. It is pretty, and I'm so glad that they're doing it more often, because I honestly feel like their 14C is really the satin finish. I mean, it just collects fingerprints. It just gets dirty. It looks dirty a lot. And so I'm just glad to see this. And yeah, it makes me very happy. So I'm going to leave this little guy out. And next we will move on to this guy, which I've done a little, I think a little preemptive review on it. This one is the TS319. Oops. And you have the cutout here for the deployment method. I love this one. It has a nested liner with a steel insert. I mean, it's a stainless steel nested liner is what I meant. This one has a giant choil too. I do love this knife a lot. The aesthetics are amazing. I love the way they milled around the pivot, and it feels like it's the sun. It looks like the sun to me in a way, and I love that, especially since their name is TwoSun. But I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just me. This one has that built-in lanyard spot for the lanyard lovers. Also, minimum hardware. This little, I actually really like this pocket clip. It doesn't move side to side. It's very, the tension is very good. I love the micarta. The blade shape is wonderful. The only thing I guess is it's a little minor nitpick. I would have the blade pointing downward a little more. I just feel like it's like, let's see if I can kind of show you what I mean. And most of you might have it, so if you see what I'm saying there, if we compare this one, it's a big difference. This one is flat, so, I kind of like it either curved forward I usually, my knives are very utilitarian in my life. So anyway, it's not a huge thing at all. I'm really nitpicking because I'm trying to find things that are wrong, because I feel like all I do is gush over knives, which that's just me. I mean, I gush over knives. That's what I do. I look at them online. I usually find them on eBay, and I will crush on them for about a week, and then before you know it, I'm bidding on it, and I got another knife in the mail on its way to me. So that's just kind of how I roll. So, but anyway, so I love this guy too. The deployment method, it's just the slot in the blade, and it's on Teflon washers, so it's not very drop shutty, but it's fine with me. I don't mind closing my blade, and I do love the finger flick. It just has collected a lot of my skin because I said in another video, this is extremely sharp right here. I don't know if I can knock that down myself. I don't want to ruin the blade, so I just kind of deal with it. But yeah, so let me cut this piece of paper with the first two here. I want to see how if I can do it on the camera for you. Yeah. So that's amazing. Oh yeah. Amazing. Here is the TS138. I love this one. This was the micarta and the 14, or is this D2? Yeah, D2. Wong design. Let's see how this guy cuts. Oh yeah. Oops. Got caught up there a little bit. Yeah, just as I suspected. And I've carried this guy for a little while. I am in love with this one. The design is spectacular. I am in love. Even though they didn't do the stone wash on the blade, I still love it. I love that compound grind. The blade shape, everything about it. It's gorgeous, darling. I love the way they did this lock bar. Oh, and the action is fabulous. I love it. Yeah, it's pretty sharp. Yeah, let me get this stuff up. I decided to get another piece because it deserves its own piece here. It is smooth from tail to tip. Oh. Yeah, I love this. Let's try out that other one here one more time. I want to try it out from tail to tip. This one's a little awkward with the blade shape as well, but it's so cool you can't even. Oh yeah, this is. They all came really sharp. There was one that was stupid sharp, and I cut myself immediately as soon as I started playing with it. But that's, I don't know, that's just the life of a knife gal. The life of a knife gal. I even get to play with my knives at work now. It's great. I work for a major, I'm in the receiving end of a major company that deals in firearms, knives, camping gear, things like that. I don't really want to say it on the channel, but I get to destroy things like if someone brings back a any camping gear that they slept in, anything like that, we have to destroy it so that nobody can garbage pick it and try to return it or use it. But yeah, we take a total loss on it. And so I get to just slice and dice through that stuff like crazy, and I love it. So I just, it's pretty awesome. So any sleeping bags or sleeping pads or anything like that, we have to destroy. We've even destroyed a couple of boats, so it's kind of sucky, especially when I'd love to take one home myself. All right, so on this guy though, I love it is a, ooh, oh, then I drop it. Oh God, forgive me. Oh my God. So, it is a Wong design. I love over, just the overbuilt chunkiness of it. These fat thumb studs that are removable, and the really chunky handle, and the really huge choil with the blade that actually has like chunky wedges or swedges in it. Chunky swedge. And that blade stock is no joke. It's pretty thick. I actually, this one is surprisingly thick. I can see maybe down the road running into troubles with sharpening it years and years from now, because you'll get plenty of blade out of that. But yeah, the sharpening choil is pretty decent on all of these. This one's amazing. Yeah, so let me look at all of them here. This one is a lot thinner, actually. It surprised me, but it's a little thick right here in the center. It's got a great sharpening choil. I'm starting to look like Freddy Krueger here, but yeah, just trying to get these guys all lined up together without dropping them. Yeah. Wow, that's funny, because this one right here is the thickest. And I would say this one right here is the smallest. Strange. But who am I? I can't design a knife. I mean, I don't know if I did, if it would make sense. I would hope so. But I have one more to bring into the show here, just because now I made an egregious error. This is the TS 325. Oops. And I love it. It's a little on the gimmicky side, but it is so totally functional. It's not even funny. This is the screaming sharp edge that I got. Oh my God. touched it and it sliced my finger open. I love this. I love the shape. I love the aesthetics are this nested liner even, you know. I just wish they would have used bearings in this one as well as this one right here. They used Teflon washers. It's smooth, don't get me wrong. It's just, you get spoiled, you know. When it runs on bearings, it runs good. But this little thing, man, this could be great for, you know, stabbing. Definitely is a 10 on my stab-o-meter. That is faux show. But let me tell you guys, I the egregious error that I made with this, and I love that stone wash. Night Morning Design 14C28N, and it takes a great stone wash. It's beautiful. I love it. But look at the tip. So I was sitting in a chair on a concrete floor, and I nodded off and I dropped this knife on the floor and I broke the tip off. I have tried to sharpen it back, but that's the best I could do. I almost immediately went online and bought another one because it made me so sad that I had injured my baby little knife. You know, knives are people too, man. But I injured it, you know, and anyway, it's just my a little collector. This is one that I wouldn't mind doing some anodizing on the scales or on the handles, because I think that these would be awesome if you took it apart and just went to work, you know, anodizing, whatever, you know, even an acid wash or I don't know, something. Sorry, guys. Oh my God, I suck today. But anyway, I wanted to mention this guy. These are just all four of these on the table, and this guy right here, they're all winners in my book. I think they did phenomenal with them. I know that other people have already reviewed all of these, so I know you've seen them all, and you've seen the comparisons, the weights, and how long they are and stuff. I just really want to gush over them and tell you what I love about my knives, and hope that you agree, or if you disagree, you can let me know. You know, I mean, it's not a big deal. We can all disagree and still get along. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with a difference of opinion. And I think the world needs to take a look back and remember some things that we used to do as humans with one another. We respected each other. And there's a huge lack of that these days. But, you know, it is what it is. And I hope that we as Americans can get through this. But, anyway, I'm not going to get all weird and deep on you. I did want to mention that my bird, Freddie Mercury, I did not buy him. I rescued him from the street. I heard this bird squawking like crazy in the street. And I looked around, and it just didn't sound like your normal everyday bird. And so I kept looking around, and there he was hopping on the street. He can't fly. And so it took a while, but a little neighbor girl actually helped, and she just lunged at him and grabbed him up, and we put him in a gerbil cage. Then we actually went and bought a cage for him, and all the food, everything he needed to survive. We tried to find his owner like crazy. We were all over, you know, social media, all over. There's like lost animal pages and things like that. We were all over that stuff. Nobody claimed him. So here we are 2.5, 3 years later with this bird that we're just gonna spoil and let him live his life out. I mean, he can't be in the wild. He's a tropical bird. But I just noticed that someone had made a comment about me having a caged bird. And I am not into birds by any means. So that's my PSA. So hopefully that person that left that message hears this, and I, I hope you understand that this was not my choice. I did not want this bird, but I could not let him die. So, and I don't trust pet stores, so I kept him. It is what it is. He's got a good life, and that's all there is to it. So anyway, those are 5 TwoSuns that I enjoy very much, and I hope you guys can get your hands on them someday. If you do like any of these designs, look them up on eBay. If you have any questions about these designs, please, comment below. And I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have, or, we could just BS like we normally do. Oh, I wanted to show you that they're changing this pivot slowly but surely, I think. I love this, and I do love the way they did this one. These are very similar, but my favorite is this pivot. This is class right here. It is such a classy looking pivot. It's beautiful. This is by far my favorite TwoSun to date, and I have a lot of TwoSuns. So, all right, guys, we're going on 22 minutes here, and I don't think half of the people out there will make it to the end, but I certainly hope you do. That is my little rant, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. And guess what? I will see you soon.